What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Giver, guys. Back again, MTG Arena action, and time for another Arena Open Day 1. We're going to give this a go here. I do enjoy giving these a run every once in a while. I have been, if you have been paying attention to the channel, a huge fan of Bloomburrow. We got a whole bunch of MTG Arena content, drafts, and sealed, and we have a whole bunch of pack opening content if you're stopping in. But that's not what you're here for. In this video, let's queue up. Let's see how we can do Arena Day 1. So we're hoping for a good sealed here. We'll drop in some gems. We'll claim this. Let's see how our sealed pack ends up doing here. Let's see. A Sylvan Tutor. Interesting. Hearthborn Battler, Thunderclap Trainer, Clement. We got a Balin, Tender Wild Guide, Festival of Embers, Mockingbird Kidnapped, and an Osteomancer Adept. Right off the rip here, you know, we could go a green, red, white build around Halen with Tender Wild Guide to help fix some mana here. You know, Hearthborn Battler's not terrible either. Clement, we face against a really good Frog deck. We'll have to see what support we have, because Mockingbird's not terrible. Thunderclap Trainer is pretty good if we have the right support for it. You know, Festival of Embers is really neat, but it gets out probably a little too late. I like that we have a Sylvan Tutor if we do end up going into green. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the pool here and see if we can't put something fun together. Let's take a look at the white. Crumb and Get It, great. Builder's Talent, not terrible. Repel, nice. In white, we do a little Warren Elder, get some pump going. Thistledown, Strike Force, Mouse Trappa. He's kind of interesting. Good Banishing Light. Waxwayne and the Provisioner. Our white isn't terrible. Double Denial. Gossip's Talent. That's kind of interesting. Runaway. Dire Downdraft is not bad. The Hermit. Long River Lurker. Long River with Thunderclap Trainer. Ooh, and a Thought Shucker. Our blue's not looking terrible, actually. Shell Duo, Mind Spiral, the Mockingbird. Let's take a look at our black. Ooh, we got a Fell. Osteomancer Adept, I actually really do like. A nice Saver, Double Daggerfang Duo. Dire Sight, Nocturnal Hunger. Gosh, our black is pretty good with a Stargaze. Got a Glide Dive Duo. Let's take a look at the red here. 2 Might of the Meeks. Now this could work in a good mouse deck. Draw some cards, trigger some Valiant. Coon Rallier. We could also use this to trigger Valiant, so that's kind of interesting. Triple Saz Caps Brew is a really interesting setup. We get the Battler there. No Spark Duo. Captain. That's kind of an interesting one. I do like Quake Tusk Boar. Very good. Reach, Trample, Haste. Very nice. Our green. Let's see our green here, which I feel like is going to be our strongest color. Longstock Brawl, Baker's Bane Duo, Hunter's Talent, G's, and an Overprotect. Wow, with the Sylvan Tutor. But a Tree Guard Duo. We are so light. How crazy is that? What a weird pool. I almost feel like blue-green might be our pathway here. We do get double Pawn Profit. We get Clement. We could look at blue-red. Blue-black. We do have a Lily Splash Mentor, too. Which is kind of interesting. I feel like... Can we make a bunch of tokens? I don't think so. We got a Fountain Pour Belt for some fixing and an Uncharted Haven and a Hidden Grotto. So all of these are good to fix some colors. I just didn't see us getting an opportunity to make a whole bunch of 1/1s. Really don't get the chance to do that. We could do with that with Head of the Homestead. That's really it. Do we have enough removal support in blue-green? You know, between the Dire Downdrafts, the Dazzling Denials, it's not terrible. Longstock Brawl is nice. We can use Overprotect as a good, and Hunter's Talent. Could be pretty good. We're just really low. We're just really weak in creatures. Is kind of crazy. Now, we do have a lot of good enter effects. Vigilance and +X/+X. You know, we have Junkblade Bruiser. We have a few things that we could play with the Clement here. He's got Vigilance. You know, we could be bouncing the Prophets, which could be really good. Blue Splash Mentor is really solid because we get to then pay to exile, make our creatures bigger. And with Tree Guard Duos, that's nice. Baker's Bane Duo is nice. What blue creatures? Mockingbird would actually be really kind of interesting. Oh, you have to cast it though. We could Surveil 2 with Light Shell Duo if we can snap that back. Thunderclap Trainer coming back in. Even Long River Lurker. There's a lot of good options actually to bounce these things. Okay, we're going to take a look at it here. I'm going to see if we can make that. I don't want to make that work. That just feels like the best. In terms of raw power, I actually really do feel like our black is pretty good. Just with the removal suite that it has. I'm not really too impressed with many of the other colors. We could look at black-green, maybe. Just for the removal side of things. But we'll put something together. We'll talk through it here when we get it together. So we'll see you in a second. Okay, I think this is where we are going to land. I don't feel terrible about it. I don't know if I feel great. I think there's some really cool synergies that we could see to play out. The question will be, are we able to get there and get to a point where we can stabilize? Now, the nice part here is we have a really, really solid curve. We're topping out here at 5 mana, really 4 mana. Really about 2 mana means we're going to be able to do a whole lot here, which is pretty good. We got some good fixing of colors here with Uncharted Haven and Hidden Grotto, so I'm not concerned from a mana standpoint. Our curve is relatively low at 2.7, 14 creatures, 9 non-creatures, the rest land, obviously. I don't feel terrible about our suite of removal. Longstock Brawl is really, really good. I'm going to play one of the 2 Dazzling Denials. I think we have some really good enchantment classes here with Gossip's Talent. Gossip's Talent, that's going to help us. If this can get onto the field early and we can power it up to allow a creature with 3 or less to be able to deal damage, and then have the opportunity to level up to 4 and be able to hit and then exile certain creatures like Pawn Prophet, being able to draw cards, a few of these other things like Baker's Bane Duo, getting into the battlefield, hitting, being unblocked, and then being able to come back and get, like, there's some cool loops we could do here. Clement's going to allow us to do that. Lily Splash Mentor. We have some redundancy with this, essentially exile our own creatures, bring them back to the battlefield, and then repop. Again, like Head of the Homestead would be really crazy at 3 power. 3 power at this with Gossip's Talent fully powered up just means we're going to make an endless loop of 1/1s, which would be really insane. So there's some cool stuff we can do here. I don't know, again, if power level wise this is going to work out, but we'll give it a try and see. We're essentially just leaving out Dazzling Denial and the Hermit and Mind Spiral. I really considered playing Mind Spiral. Maybe we see, I'm not super high on Kidnap. At the flip side of that, though, I could see this coming in. Somebody plays a bomb like a Lumra or something else, and then we're able basically just steal their best creature. Feels really good. That feels really, really good. And then if they have to remove it or something, we're still essentially kind of getting a 2-for-1 with this. So that could be pretty busted. It's going to be interesting. And then green, I don't think we really left anything. Sylvan Tutor's the only one I did leave. I don't know how I feel about that, but there's just not a ton I feel like I would be searching for. There's not a crazy bomb. Again, Clement and a few other things give us some synergies, but we can just kind of naturally draw into that, I feel like, especially with Double Pawn Profit. We'll see some of our, I'll call it like combo pieces for that. So Sylvan Tutor felt like just something that we could leave there. That's really about where we're at. I took a look at a couple of the other setups. I just don't think we have a lot of great support in any colors. Most of our colors felt okay, had some really good playables, some really strong cards, but just not a lot of consistency, right? I think black was really interesting to me. I think if we had seen one or two other really good, strong black creatures, that would probably have tipped me over the edge here with some other synergies. I mean, we do have Centering Cutthroat and Find Root Mentor, which are certainly not bad at all. Great creatures. 3 Hazel's Nocturne really kind of hurt us here. Like I said, I think it was tough. This was very good. I don't want to undersell that. Between Fell Saver, Nocturnal Hunger, I mean, we got some really good Stargaze is fantastic. Some good things there. So we're gonna give this a go. We'll see if we can do a little bit of frog bouncing and see how that goes. So let's get to the first game. All right, here we go. We're on the play. And I just cannot keep this. I really want to, because if we were able to... Gosh, if we could curve up, I would be totally relying on finding a blue mana. We really can't do anything without it. Gonna have them all again. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep this 6, and I think we ship a forest and go from there. The problem is our really only good play here is Play Shell Duo. So, all right, Long River Lurker gives us some options. Really don't want to do that. I think we just wait. I'm not really pressured here by Sun Shower Druid, so we can kind of just let this happen. They went 3 colors. They went the Balin colors. Let's see what they choose to do here. I think we just do this. Oh my gosh. And I whiffed. Playful Shove. Nice. Well played, well played. All right, well, let's get a Light Shell Duo in here. I actually don't hate that. We'll just leave it as is. Now here's the thing. We can Long River Lurker. Get in some damage. The question is, do I tree guard duo? And then long stock brawl. I feel like I do that. That's pretty efficient. And then combat. That feels really good. That felt really good. And we get to surveil 2. Do I want the mana? I don't think I mind. I think we just tree guard. Make this thing huge. Combat. That was fun. Let's see. Do we just attack? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. I think we get profitable trades here. Do we die in the swing back? This'll survive. I can't make that any bigger. Like Long River Lurker's gonna die. Yep, the double block there, that seems fine. I think this is just too profitable for us right here. As they can't kill the tree guard duos. They'd have to double block to kill the light shell duo. Yep. You get a 5/5, 8, 9. I guess if they have an overrun spell, I guess I didn't do the math good. Make them pay 4. Yeah. This makes it so that they either pay for this, essentially can't double spell. That seems fine. I can't attack. GG's. Okay. Okay. That was an interesting one. That was an interesting one, but we got some recursion here with this little guy, with little Long River Lurker action, and we saw how good being able to get in, surveil. I really like that combo here. Being patient and being able to surveil and bump back the Light Shell Duo was really nice. Then we cheated in some fast damage here with the Long River Lurker. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I liked it. All right, we are on the draw here. Again, a little bit of a slower hand, but Thoughtshucker can get in here. We got Hunter's Talent, so that's kind of cool. Overprotect pretty good, and then Head of the Homestead. We'll keep this. We got 3 lands. Make some things work here. This is match number 2. Thoughtshucker ends up being like a decent little blocker, too, with the 1/3 body. Can always then pop this Bonekesh Overseer. Not a card I'm super afraid of. Really just got to get to the point where Head of the Homestead could get out and we can find some cycling for this. Because again, there's a world in which we can do some fun things with Head of the Homestead and just keep recurring it and keep getting little 1/1s. Just make a massive rabbit army. Wondering if our opponent here disconnected. Not sure what long decisions they have with 2 mana and nothing on our side of the board. But we'll just get Thoughtshucker down. Got a Tree Guard Duo. Tree Guard Duo here with Homestead is pretty good. This can come in and make us pretty big. I need turns with this deck. We're definitely very mid-rangey. We have some mini combos, I guess. And if we can get online with a few of those, I feel like we can get a lot of advantage. We saw that in the first match, just being able to surveil, dig through some cards, get in, some points of damage. Not sure. I really don't know what's happening here. Do I care about trying to get the offspring on this? I guess I do. I guess let's just do this. This doesn't feel necessarily great, but do that. We can get it out. Then next turn we can go for 4. We can double Tender Wild Guide. And that'll let us get out Head of the Homestead, and then Tree Guard Duo gets really good at that point. Exile a card. I guess we do this. Start with a Pawn Prophet. Let's see if we draw a land here. Nope. I guess we probably should have looked at Tender Wild Guide. We do draw a land. We can Light Shell Duo, though. That's not ideal. Let's do blue. We'll attack. And then I think we just Tender Wild Guide here. This will give us 5 mana. We can Head of the Homestead next. Or Light Shell Duo if we want to fix. Probably Head of the Homestead just to make use of the mana here. And we're going to go pretty wide on the board. Tender Wild Guide. Interesting choice. Punch in a little bit of damage. Then we're going this route. We get 2 bunnies. Okay, so there's a world in which we do this. And then I do this. And I target this. I think we just bring the team. It's going to be our best way to put some pressure on here. Absolutely. Boop, boop. Hey, we get some bunnies. Okay. Overprotect and Tree Guard Duo here are probably going to get this across the finish line for me. This was pretty good. Now, again, my opponent, they must have disconnected or something. I'm not sure what happened. They essentially missed 2 turns. So I don't know what they could have done or any of that stuff. They get a bunny. They get the scry. Yep. They can certainly still play some things here. Yep. Yep, they'll gain some life. Yep, they'll make another bunny. Makes sense. Yep. Keeping 1 on top. I just really need to see a mana here. Nope, it's another Tree Guard Duo. But they're going to take... They can block the Head of the Homestead with the Starlight Soothsayer. They block there and there. They take 4. We overprotect. I think it's just over. Getting rid of Tender Wild Guide actually ended up being a pretty smart move. Let's see what their blocks are. And this gives Trample too, so... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't even need to do anything? I'm actually going to do this. That doesn't bother me. Now, the hope here is that obviously they don't play a much better creature, and this thing is locked down, but again, I feel like we could Tree Guard Duo, we can Clement here. What I want to be able to do is Clement, and I can't remove, ooh, feed the cycle. And they can't forage, so I'll have to find a swamp. See if they do. And then they have a tough spot here. They didn't find the swamp. They found the swamp. Bloodflat Village. All right, they're probably going to feed the cycle to Clement, which isn't great, but that's basically their turn. That's 4 mana to get rid of that thing. Long River Lurker is actually their bigger problem. They think at this point. If they don't take out Clement right now, gosh, maybe I shouldn't have. I could have forced it on Long River Lurker. Or just held what I had. I can't run away together because I have to choose 2. Okay, they're choosing to not do that. This is going to get really interesting here. So I'm trying to think. 4, 5. I feed the cycle. Oh, they lose the opportunity to play feed the cycle here. So now what I can do is when this comes into play, I can return Long River Lurker back to the hand. I think we start by Longstock Brawling these guys. Yeah, I think we go this route. Oh, wait. Wait, shoot. I screwed it up. I screwed it up. Dang it. That's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to bring Clement back. Stack the triggers incorrectly. Oh, I hope that doesn't cost me. Shoot. Because what I was going to do is bring Long River Lurker back so that I could then re-pop Treeguard Duo here. I can always run away together the Long River Lurker. Do the same thing. We're in a pretty good spot here, so... just attack here. Gosh, that was a misplay. That's my bad. I didn't realize what was triggering here first. That's a oopsie on my end. All right, I think we just play Clement. I think we're still in really good shape here, so I'm not too concerned with that. I can always attack with Treeguard Duo this next turn. Or just play this Treeguard Duo. And give my other Treeguard Duo, make him huge, and then return Long River Lurker. We're going to do that. We lose the ward, which is okay. That seems generally fine. That's a 7-8 coming at you. Ouchie. All right, I feel like we're in really good shape here. Well, we can run away together. Which is why I kept this up. Now we get a mana. It really doesn't matter. I think we just jam Head of the Homestead next. What are they keeping up for 2 mana is the question. Let's make yeah, I think 0 is actually fine here. I mean, I can attack with the Tree Guard duo. Yeah, we just won't. Because essentially next turn we just Long River Lurker, Head of the Homestead, and just start looping this. And then it's pretty well over from there. What else do they have in here? Valley Rock Caller. They got some other things that they can do. That all seems fine. Blue. I think they're just dead here, actually. So let me start by Long River Lurker. Smith 0. Target this guy. For a blue mana. Tree Guard duo. Zero. Trigger this. And attack. That's a fun cycle, and then that was going to come back, and then that was going to go back onto the battlefield, and that could trigger to the return of Tree Guard duo to then... The loop here was going to be pretty freaking insane, actually. When you go to think about it. So that, let's just assume that they didn't die right there by a pretty insane play. This then goes back, comes back onto the battlefield. We get 2 additional 1/1s. Then it triggers because it came back into play, which means I could have bounced a Tree Guard duo back to my hand, or I could have bounced Long River Lurker, allowing me to basically play that again to then hit Hut of the Homestead to just keep getting... I mean, the loop cycle here of unblockable damage would have just continued. Or again, I could have Tree Guard duoed back, could have played Tree Guard Duo to then trigger this again, to then pull back Long River Lurker, to then play Long River Lurker, and just continue the cycle. That's insane. That's actually pretty insane. Lightshell Duo obviously would have been able to do the same thing. Okay, we are in match number 4 here, and I feel like we can run this. Get Thoughtshucker out here pretty quick. I think they're gonna mulligan down to 6, I think, from what I saw. Yep. All right, get a blue going. We could have just played Mockingbird right there if we wanted to. We don't need to. There's a world in which we can wait for Thunderclap Trainer, although I don't really know that I care to... the world in which this sees something... Yeah, we get the Kidnap. That's kind of cool. Showing them the Kidnap is pretty interesting. We could always attack. Yeah, that's not a good trade for me, though. Because they would kill the Thunderclap Trainer. And then I could Longstock Brawl fight the... Gift them a tapped fish. No attacks. I think I actually just do this. We'll submit 0. I'm okay with that. Okay, well, that unfortunately doesn't work out in my favor. Sure. That seems fine. We care about the 4 damage. Or do I look at leveling this up? No, we'll send him back to turn. Sure. So this sets them back pretty far. Tree Guard Duo gets in. Yep, let's just do this. And let's do the Thoughtshucker. Do I keep the land on top? Do I need the land? I am going to keep the land on top. Get some damage in. That's pretty good. Do I kidnap here? I think I just level up twice. Sure. Interesting little synergy we have here. I really don't care. What we could be doing is we could be doing this with Thunderclap Trainer. I just don't really, I don't have a ton of things to find, right? And I'm still threatening this kidnap. So if they drop down, for instance, a bomb, the nice part is they're on a 3-turn clock here. So and Light Shell Duo is going to allow us to do the same thing. And we can surveil. We keep up Longstock Brawl for anything else that they play. This is a pretty good situation, I feel like we're in for the most part. I'm not worried about the damage that we're going to take. I don't like that they're grabbing an extra card off of Hunter's Talent, but... Okay, well that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Well, we can always kidnap, then fight. Which I think is what I do here. Oh, that's extra good. That's extra good. Oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Ooh, that was good. That was a good play. Yeah, I guess we just do this block. Oh, smart. Okay. So now I think we light shell here. Pitch. Does Pawn Prophet help us a ton? No, but it does give us a creature, and it gives us a 2-turn play. I mean, there's a world in which we just Tree Guard duo, Light Shell duo. Attack. That'll force the block. We'll see what they play here. And we have to block this. See what they're going to do. Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Why would they return the Hunter's Talent? Okay. Not terrible. Not a terrible play. They can still level it up. Oh, good play. I'm dead here. Or almost dead. Ah, we just got outpaced. That's unfortunate. Oh. The problem is I can't draw it. Oh no. Oh man. We just can't draw it. That's unfortunate. I don't think this matters because this still triggers. Yeah, if we could have been able to do that, that would have been so sick. Oh, close. I feel like we're really close there. They had some really good timely removal. Sticky Tongue Sentinel, their Hunter's Talent back to kill. Calamitous Tide was just really, really tough for us. If we could have run away together there, we actually would have probably snatched that game, which would have been really interesting. That's our first loss, which is unfortunate, but not bad. That was a tough deck. Tough match we ran into. 3-1 so far. Jump into another. All right. Dire Drown Draft, Long River Lurker, Tree Guard Duo. We're going to keep. This can have some pretty insane goes here for us. Let's see what we turn it into. I'm going to call probably blue. A slow start for them is a good start for us. Double Tree Guard Duo, pretty interesting. Sticky Tongue Sentinel. Okay. Oh, we can use the Tree Guard duo. Let's just return it. What the heck? We'll use our mana efficiently here. Top or bottom. See what they choose to do. Keep it on top. Baker's Bane duo. Get a little food action. Alright, let's get this going. Sure. I can Sticky Tongue Sentinel their Baker's Bane if they want. Bounce that little guy back, make another food, that makes sense. Double green to get the most value, but... Okay. Let's start off, let's long stock brawl. Let's punch in. Boop. Let's just attack. Let's light shell. A little prowess action to surveil 2. I think I do want the green mana. I think 6 is going to be a good number for us here. We can double spell. We could, of course, Hunter's Talent and then level it up. Which doesn't feel like a terrible move. Could always Long River Lurker, Light Shell duo. I think we actually do both here. So let's Hunter's Talent. It gets us a prowess trigger. We'll pop this guy. Then Long River Lurker. That actually does really good for us. Let's do this. Hit, boom, boom. Take the action. Pop, back, boom. Actually, really don't need Tender Wild Guide, but Mockingbird could be really cool. Mockingbird could be good. Could be good here. There's also a world in which we just level up Hunter's Talent and smash. Or Tree Guard Duo and smash. Or Tree Guard Duo, 1 level up Hunter's Talent. Feeling pretty good on this. This could be pretty solid. Or we sacrifice all of our creatures. That's unfortunate. I could have Tree Guard Duo there, but I think let's see what they got here, because if they're out of gas, this is gonna pump itself up. We get to draw the extra card. Yep. That sucks. But now next turn, if they don't play a creature, I can Mockingbird. That was an interesting sequence. And now I have a flying 5/3, so that's kind of cool. Jeez, they got removal for days here. That is tough. Well, we kind of gassed out. This was amazing. This sequence was amazing for them to be able to early winter and do a whole lot of those things. That is unfortunate. We are just out of gas here. Do I force them? I'll wait. I need a Dazzling Denial, something more important. Sure. We'll make them choose. Now this is a good card. So allow us to sure. This combo is insane. Yeah, I think we keep the overprotect. If Head of the Homestead I need one turn. If Head of the Homestead stays on the battlefield here, this is pretty well, undeniably too difficult to overcome. Okay, Corpseberry Cultivator. They had a removal spell, I feel like they would have played it. Yep, you can forage, make it bigger. That's fine. All that seems pretty good. All those things seem pretty dang good. Sure. Absolutely. Now we just keep her protected. That's absolutely what we do. Double Thunderclap Trainer. I just don't know what I would find. I'll take the Baker's Bane duo, actually. Yep. Good game. Ooh. So that got dicey there for a minute, but Head of the Homestead into a Gossip's Talent, and then this Gossip's Talent being able to basically just overrun with the bunnies is an insane little combo. And then we get the triple Surveil, which is so good. The fact that they were able to take out what we had going on here. I mean, we had a really nice setup with double Tree Guard Duo and Long River Lurker. That was impressive. And then obviously Hunter's Talent. This would have been really big for us because this is also a card draw engine. And in the matches that we want, more mid-range, more grindy, card advantage for us is absolutely huge. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so I'm running a little low on recording space, so I have to pause this here for now, and we'll jump back in. We're currently sitting 4-1. The deck is feeling pretty good. We have not been out of any of the matches. We have certainly seen the tide flip a little bit for us, but if we can get a few of our enchantment classes up and running and then cycling through a few cards with some of our bounce mechanics, that's pretty good, and it becomes pretty hard to stop. So I won't guarantee to say to get to 7. We got to get 3 more wins to try to do that, but we got 2 losses. Really, yeah, we got 1 more loss we can give on the way to doing that, and see if we can't work to try to make day 2, which would be a first, which would be pretty cool. So we'll wrap this up here. We'll post another one here of the rest of the games, probably another episode, as soon as we can get some recording space freed up, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed. Love Bloomburrow. Sealed's been absolutely awesome to do a lot of drafts. This has been just a ton of fun. So really looking forward to continuing on, and you know, we'll see if we can make it day 2. That'd be pretty cool. I'm gonna flash some socials. If you enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs, first big milestone for the channel. We do pack openings, probably flashing a card up here pretty quick every Wednesday. So if you're interested in those, we do play boosters, lots of collector boosters. Got some really fun stuff coming up before Dustmorn pops here, and looking forward to getting into that new set as well, and that'll be here before we know it. So thanks again, as always. Appreciate the time, and we'll catch you the next one. Peace.